You already know what time it is. It is time for the Sports Time HQ podcast. I'm your host, Fernando. Joining me today is my great co-host, Gary. Gary, we back. We refreshed. It's a great Wednesday or Thursday for me now, but how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Definitely excited to do another one of these two quarterback PPR mock drafts and coming out with a little bit of a twist today, but we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But OTAs are underway, so we got a little bit to talk about.
OTAs are underway, which just means that we have some more news and notes from around the league. But before we get into the news and notes about the OTAs, there is a little bit of news before that. And easy one or quick one is former Patriots center David Andrews is retiring from the NFL after playing for about a decade with the New England Patriots. They did cut him. I never liked the cutting of David Andrews because I thought he was a great center. But again, I mean, I think it's just maybe he just wanted to only play for the Patriots, or maybe it was just time.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty good for you guys for a good amount of time now. And I'm pretty sure I saw he was being inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame or being some kind of recognition for being a good Patriot. So good for him. Congrats on a great career and enjoy retirement.
Yeah, enjoy retirement indeed. Some other news is the Jaguars are not planning to use Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball during OTAs. I mean, it's smart. You shouldn't be overusing him. It's only OTAs. So I think I like it only because if you do both sides, you're just increasing the likelihood of an injury.
I mean, I think that no matter what, he should get some reps. I mean, I don't think you necessarily have to go the whole 9 yards on both sides of the ball just yet. But I mean, if you're the Jaguars, right, like obviously you draft Travis Hunter thinking you're going to use him on both sides of the ball. And right now, they claim that he's going to be focusing more on the offensive side of the ball. Well, what if, he just comes to camp and kind of, surprises the whole team in the sense that he's twice the cornerback that he is a wide receiver, which is definitely possible. I'm not saying he's unbelievably better as a corner than a wide receiver, but I think he is better as a corner than a wide receiver. So what if it were that way in a sense where, maybe he should primarily focus on defense? Obviously we're still very young into the off season. They have a lot of time to find that out, but I think, we're kind of getting moving here. And I think that no matter what, he should be getting at least some reps on both sides of the ball, just to kind of get a feel for how things are working. But at the same time, I do totally get it in the sense that they don't really want to risk him getting injured this early.
I mean, I think they will use him on both sides of the ball to see is Travis Hunter going to be truly our corner? Is he going to be truly our wide receiver? I just think he won't be taking all the reps for both sides. I think it'll be limited reps. Or at least that's how it should be. I agree with you, though. I think he should take some snaps for both sides to really see what value are you getting with that number 2 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Some other news is that the London games, the prices of London games have been announced for Category 9, so these go by categories. Category 9 is nosebleed. Highest of the highest and one of the worst. It's only 72 pounds, which compared that to US dollars, about maybe 90, give or take. And then category 1, which is of course front row, is 230 pounds, which is close to $300, I believe. I think when I went, I was category 2 or 3, which US dollar I paid around 250, which kind of goes around where the price was. I think category 4 was 195 pounds for next year, and I think that's how much it was as well this year. I don't know, something intriguing for anyone who's going to the London games.
I mean, I think it's honestly relatively cheap. I could be wrong. I've never been to one of these games.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I've never been to one of these games, of course, and quite honestly, haven't really ever looked at any of the pricing. But like, I mean, these intervals just seem kind of off to me. Like, I feel like
Mm.
if you buy a Category 3 seat, you might as well buy
Ah,
a
you
Category
know
1.
what? I got the picture right here. So for people seeing, I sat like right here, like right where my finger is. It looks like it's nosebleed, but it's actually still a really great view. It is the highest section, but again, it wasn't a bad price. And it was like around the 50-yard line, which was the greatest. I think where I was standing right there, it was roughly category 1, 2 borderline.
Hmm.
And then mine, of course, was category 4, which was way up. But honestly, the difference between American stadiums versus European or London stadiums is these stadiums are not built to go super high, sky high. Like
Okay.
for people like us, we've been to Gillette Stadium. So or at least you have, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So we've been to Gillette Stadium. That thing goes way up to the nosebleed. I mean, you won't get seats like that in London or in the UK or anywhere in Europe because they just don't go that high up.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong, but maybe it's not that big of a difference. But again, like, I mean, if you're telling me I can sit essentially in the first row for a 20-pound difference or whatever, 20
30
$30
230
30.
pounds 230 pounds to US dollars $310.
So what's 20 pounds?
20 pounds is $27, give or
Right.
take,
So you're telling me I can sit in the front row
for an extra
essentially
$27.
for an extra $27 when I'm like debating buying a pretty good seat already. I'm 100% taking that. So I think it's honestly on the cheaper side, um, at least top heavy, better seat wise.
I think the category 9 tickets, and I'll pull the picture back up again, is those ones that are actually way behind me, just
Hmm.
way at the very top,
Hmm.
way at the very top, but just completely on each side of the end zone.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, you whichever place you sit, you're going to get a great view actually in the London games. But I think I loved where I sat. I thought it was great view. But I did try to get front row. I did try.
So here's another question for you. Do you know if that's just like so like for category 1, for example, 230 pounds? Is that just like an average, or are all seats in category 1 going for that?
I believe it's all in category. Any that are category 1 are 230 pounds. If I do believe so.
That's honestly very surprising to me because I mean we talked about Gillette already, and this is with any stadium.
Yeah. How
I
much is
mean,
Gillette? Gillette's expensive front row.
well, yeah, but what I'm trying to say here is the ones near midfield are like double the price, the ones that are in
Yeah.
the end zone, right? Because you can
Yeah.
obviously get a much better view of everything that's going on um, at any point in the game. So that's kind of surprising to me that like the whole entire category 1 is the same because I would just expect the ones in the middle of the field to go 100 times faster than
Hmm.
the ones that are at the end zone. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know, but just
I think
something to
I
talk
think the
about.
price that I saw, this was a resale ticket. The price that I saw in the end zone, on one side, like in front row, kind of like only a few seats, a few rows up. I think I want to say it was like $320, but again, resale. So it could have been around that 320, 350 range, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm so glad I didn't actually book that
Yeah,
ticket because the only touchdown that was on that side of the end zone was the very last touchdown.
right.
So
Exactly.
like, and I got such great videos where I still got to see them all like celebrate and everything. I was typically more closer to the end zone that they scored more, but it was still roughly the 50-yard line. I was right next to the booth where they were announcing or filming or something along the media production.
It's funny that I actually brought this up and that you say that there was only one touchdown scored at that spot that you were thinking of buying, because when I went to the Cleveland Miami game when I was in Cleveland not too long ago, uh,
Hmm.
we sat near one of the end zones, and the only scoring that happened on that side of the field was one field goal. Everything else was on the other
So
side of the field,
sad.
and it was like 23 to 3. I think the final, or 20 to 3, something like that. So
Browns of
there,
course lost.
yes, of course. But there were
Had to
20
make that.
points scored on the opposing side compared to the 3 that are on mine.
Oh,
And so that's
that's
that's what
so
I'm
sad.
saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why the prices, at least here in America, are a lot or a lot more pricey in the middle of stadiums, as opposed to where the end zones are.
I actually I'd like to see what the Madrid prices are going to be and what
Mhm.
the Ireland prices are going to be, because I wonder if they're going to be similar to the London games or if it's going to be a little cheaper, a little more expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually know someone here. I actually just talked to her today. I found out that she volunteered for the Frankfurt game in
Oh, wow.
the NFL Frankfurt. She got to hold the U.S. flag on the field, and
Awesome.
then during the halftime show, uh, um, they were grabbing all the equipment from the halftime show, and
Mhm.
it was the Chiefs game that she was working, and it was she got right next to Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Andy Reid, and everything. Got a
Wow.
whole video. Showed me the video today. Isn't that
That's really
crazy?
cool. That is crazy.
Uh, Kino quickly in the chat. Y'all want to do dynasty ranking? I'd like some opinions on my current team. I mean, send your team over,
Yeah.
Kino. If you want, also, maybe depending if you can screenshot it, maybe email it to me. Maybe I can put it during the show because we got time. Sportstimehq@gmail.com. If you want that, I'll put it down in the bio for you if you want. But, anyways, let's move on to some more news and notes. And basically, the most news and notes that we have left is the OTA missing players. I'm gonna just go through some of them, but I do want to talk about first a rookie who's yet to sign his contract and missing OTAs, and that's Shamar Stewart for the Cincinnati Bengals. What's your thought on this? Do you think he deserves to be sitting out, or should he just sign this contract?
Yeah, I mean, I saw another guy, I believe, was holding out also on the Bengals. I don't remember who it was, but it was another rookie that they drafted.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
totally blanking. I don't know if he still is. But yeah, I mean, I honestly had no idea up until recently that you could even do that as a rookie. But
Mm.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess. If I kind of saw a video breaking down exactly like what's going on with the Bengals, and they just have no money right now. So,
They
I
really
guess
don't.
I guess I can say I don't blame him, because if you got guys that were drafted around his range getting 4 years, $16 million or whatever it is, and he's 4 years, $7 million or whatever it is, whatever it may be, it's kind of disrespectful. So, um, obviously this is the team that drafts you, so you want to give them all you can, but at the same time, this is going to be your career for a few years. So,
Yeah, and I think if I'm correct, the teams have to sign these rookies, but they again, like you said, they can't go over the cap. And I was actually learning about it in class today. There's been 3 times where teams have gone over the salary cap and have actually had to pay fines.
mm,
And the fines are actually as minimal as $5 million, which honestly for a team is not that bad, given that
mm,
we've seen in the MLB the luxury tax between
yeah,
like the Dodgers or the Yankees or whatnot. But it was the Dallas Cowboys twice. No
of
shocker there. And then
course.
actually the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans also had to pay. Oh, and the Washington Redskins at the time also had to pay. Redskins at that time and the Dallas Cowboys was in the same season, and they had to pay a combined of 36 million dollars.
Wow. Mm,
And I think the most recent one with the Houston Texans, they had to give up a 5th round pick, which again isn't that much, but
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree though. Shamar Stewart should end up actually signing eventually.
Yeah.
But the other guy you were talking about was Demetrius Knight.
That's right. Yeah.
Demetrius Knight Jr. He was the other
Defensive
one
tackle,
that
right? Or,
yes, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Some other guys. Again, these are all based on contract situations because all of these players are in contract negotiations for extensions and getting paid. James Cook, for the running back for the Bills, he's missing OTAs. I mean, are we surprised? Are we surprised? No, right?
Not really. No.
He again wants 15 million plus. He wants to be one of the top running backs in this league. Will he get it? I don't think so, but I think they will strike a deal, hopefully, or at least he will show up. I highly doubt he's going to sit out like Le'Veon Bell did. We haven't seen a running back do that since because it backfired on Bell.
Yeah.
And I think if it didn't backfire on Bell, we would see more running backs do it. But he didn't. If it didn't backfire, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think they'd be perfectly fine sitting out for the whole season. But it is something to watch for redraft leagues too.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love, what Nick Chubb did for this team, and I guess at this point in time, it feels like he's not replaceable. Running backs are the most replaceable position, unfortunately, in the NFL. And, they have the shortest lifespan of any position in the NFL. I believe it's only like 4 to 6 years, maybe, if that. So, they kind of come and go. And it sucks because, like I said, Nick Chubb is my favorite player on the Browns for a while. So I don't take the RB position lightly. But, at some point we kind of have to argue that it is the most replaceable position. And outside of those top 3 guys, I think 3 to maybe the 5 guys at the top of the position, it's fairly easy to be able to replicate a solid running game with a guy of much, much less financial wise.
Yeah, it is. And like, obviously, Josh Allen getting paid so much money. I mean, that takes up so much of the salary cap too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, going on to another guy, we'll talk about quickly. Actually, your guy, Myles Garrett. What's your take on Garrett? And
I mean, at the end of the day, it's OTAs are voluntary. I mean, I'm not going to make this big fuss about it whatsoever. I saw he's in Japan right now, and I think
is he?
Yeah, he's in Japan right now, and I saw a tweet that he's rumored to be now dating some I don't know, either a pop star or an actress, something like that. She is Asian. I don't know if she's Japanese, but maybe that is the case, and that's why he's there. I have no idea. But he is in Japan right now, and honestly, I really couldn't care less if he was seeking out a contract extension. I would be like really worried, but at the moment, he did sign the papers, and at the end of the day, guys, are voluntary. I mean, you don't need to necessarily show up to do your thing. I'm sure Myles Garrett will still be here on Sundays.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he wants to prove that he is going to be a great player in this league, and I mean, he already is. We know that he is a great player in this league. But do you think he starts week 1?
Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I mean, because
he's skipping OTAs, you never know. It could lead into something bigger.
No, it's not. And if OTAs, in my opinion at least, are really just for like rookies, and
I also agree.
I'd say anything before like a 30-year player, I think, is important for OTAs. But a guy who's been in the league for 8 years, 7, 8 years now, and is proven to be a top 10 player in the game in Myles Garrett, I don't really think it's, that big of a deal.
Yeah. Lastly, some receivers, Terry McLaurin and Kyle Pitts. Fantasy-wise, it really hurts Terry McLaurin if he does sit out. And Kyle Pitts, he's a great player, just hasn't reached his potential that we want him to reach. Maybe it will be with Michael Penix, but I mean, what I think the most concerning is Terry McLaurin here, because I wouldn't have expected Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I wasn't expecting him either, but I mean, apparently he's also wanting a new contract extension. I guess I
Yeah,
get it, but at the same time, I mean, this even goes with Myles Garrett too. Like, I don't think it's going to lead to anything, but it's starting to get annoying. I guess, like in the sense that everybody's kind of starting to do the same thing when if they, are awaiting a contract extension. Um, if they're awaiting a contract extension, they just decide to sit out entirely.
yeah,
I hate that, to be honest with you, because I mean, even a guy that might have been perceived as a diva like Jamar Chase
yeah,
um, wanted an absolute bag and didn't get what he wanted when he met with the Bengals, went out and ended up having a triple crown season. So, I mean, there are people in this league that would have just totally shut down for the season after they, were off by a couple $1 million from what they wanted. So, I kind of don't like where we're headed, but yeah, I don't really think any of these guys are really going to be affected by this, to be honest. But I guess Terry McLaurin's the biggest one just because he's seeking out a contract extension.
yeah. I think these are just players that you definitely need to monitor, especially for fantasy purposes. Don't need to worry about them all too much. We're still in May when it's not even June yet. I mean, once we get to these mandatory training
You're
camps,
right.
then you can start to
That's a
worry.
different story. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're missing mandatory training camps and you're getting fined and you don't care, that's when
Yeah.
you definitely need to worry. Keanu sent me his roster, so we're just going to quickly dive into the roster. Taking a look at his starting lineup, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson. I mean, those are two great running backs. Trevor Lawrence, a little questionable. Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown, wide receivers look great, along with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jake Ferguson, a little questionable there. Could be good, could be bad this year. Really depends on how the team is. IDP, I mean, players look fine. I mean, I don't play them in much IDP leagues, but the ones I have, it's very similar to scoring. So it's not all that crazy, whoever you have, all too much. For the bench, this is Superflex, right? No, it's one QB. One QB Dynasty. Okay. Your quarterbacks are perfect. I mean, I would personally try to trade one of the quarterbacks because you have too many. Unless your league is planning to go Superflex, you don't need all these quarterbacks on your roster. I think personally, I would keep Justin Herbert and Caleb Williams. And other than that, I would try and sell high on Sam Darnold. Trevor Lawrence, you're just going to have to hold because his value is just not too great. Gary, he's got Quinton Judkins.
Love it. Love it.
Jordan Mason, DeAndre Swift, Audric Estime, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, good player. Jordan Mason, good handcuff that you have because of CMC. I mean, I like the running backs. Low key don't look bad.
No, I actually like them. Of course, obviously CMC is up in the air, but you have Bijan Robinson, who's debatably the best dynasty.
He's top 10 back.
Yeah, and I mean he's probably if not a top 3 dynasty, not the best, a top 3 dynasty running back at the moment. So can't get much better than that. And then of course, if CMC stays healthy, he's healthy and is one of the best running backs in the game. I think your quarterback situation is fine. I mean, I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence, obviously. Of course, you have 4, so you can move 1 or 2 if you'd like. But I keep 3 quarterbacks on my dynasty roster, even though I'm only in a 1 quarterback league. I just like having the variance there and also the value of the guys that I have on my team. If you could you go back actually to that first? Yeah, I mean the wide receivers are good too. Brian Thomas, also one of the better dynasty wide receivers in the
finish.
game. And same thing with JSN, and obviously AJ Brown's a top probably 5 wide receiver in this game. Your tight end situation, I think, is perfectly fine. I think it's totally
Yeah.
acceptable. If I'm being honest, I saw you
Well,
said that you have Otten on your bench as well.
yep.
I
Also,
can't see him
Otten's
here,
there.
but yeah, you have Otten, and you somehow grabbed Travion too on your taxi squad. I
Ooh,
don't
and
know,
RJ
and
Harvey
RJ Harvey. I don't know how you managed to do that.
and Keon
Um,
Coleman
to
as
be
a little
totally honest,
backup.
but I'd like to know how many people are in this league. But I
Is it a
think
4 team?
I love Kate Otten, to be totally honest with you. The good thing is that
Yeah.
he's young as well. I think he's only is going into his third year in the NFL, so I think he's also one of the better fantasy dynasty tight ends in the league.
Honestly, I mean, I do love Kate Otten. I just think fantasy production wise is going to be very minimal because of the fact of there's so many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
If I was you, he mentioned AJ Brown and CMC are on the trade block after next season. If we go into week 1 or the first few weeks and CMC is really how he was, I'm going to be honest, trade him as soon as possible
Yeah.
because I'm perfectly fine dumping it. I know he's a great running back and he could provide for another year, 2 years, 3 years, who knows. But the injury concern is there. So I think it's just time to move on from him. We're going to have Jesse Morris on the show, a doctor that we've had on the show, who's mentioned about Michael Thomas, how he would never be the same again. And sure enough, he has never been the same. So we are going to have him on the show. So we are going to talk about CMC with him. And obviously, we're going to have him talk about rookies and everything along those lines. But Chris Olave is an interesting one. I think overall for your tight ends, if you can somehow pair up a quarterback and like a tight end or something and trade for a better tight end, I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. But just also to talk about the bench, I mean, we didn't even talk about the fact that he's got Olave Worthy and Rasheed Rice as well. I mean,
I,
those wide receivers being like your wide receiver like 3, 4, and 5, or 4,
it's
5, and
crazy.
6, whatever it is insane. So
I'm
again,
going to be
I don't know
honest.
how many people are in this league, but I mean, you're getting your money's worth, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think you need to trade one of those wide receivers and quarterbacks and go get yourself a good tight end. And you're
Yeah.
a win now team. You're a win now team, and you have only one quarterback league. So Justin Herbert, you don't need to go get another quarterback. Justin Herbert's your every week starter.
Yeah.
Gary, we got any more news and notes?
I guess just another thing to touch up on was TJ Watt also was missing OTAs for the same reason, contract extension purposes. So,
My goodness.
that's all I got.
Oh, well, let's get into it. For everyone who's watched, this is the 6th Superflex mock rookie drafts. But a little twist. We usually do a 10-team league. We're doing a 12-team league this week. So it's going to be a little different. We are going to be going back and forth. Gary, you're not going to snipe me. I'm not going to snipe you, which I'm glad about. But picking at the 112, I have not done really yet. So this is going to be an interesting one for me.
Yeah.
But let's start this show.
So,
Ashton Genty, Hampton, Hunter, McMillan, Henderson, and Ward going the consensus top 6 picks. I mean, those are easily there. I think Ward is the change, though.
Yeah, it is. That's something that, I mean, that can be a big change because, I mean, he falls 2 whole spots. And if T-Mac can be a wide receiver 1 like I think he can, I think him moving up a spot or 2 spots is a huge difference. So, of course, this all depends if you're actually in a 2 quarterback league or not.
Yeah.
And
this is a super flex, so.
Right. And if you're not, I mean, I've done mock drafts of, by myself where it's not a 2 quarterback league. Cam Ward falls to like the middle of the second. And that's before this like recent change. So I wonder if he's still there or even fell back farther. But I'm going to take the guy that I've taken at 7 every time. That's Quinshon Judkins. I think there's a little bit of a fall off after the top 7, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a tier break. I've been posting the rookie picks that I think are for each position. Judkins great. Tyler Warren at 8. He's jumping a little bit to 8. But again, still around that 1.821 mark in 10-team leagues. RJ Harvey going above Caleb Johnson. That's a little different,
Mhm.
Gary. We haven't seen Caleb
Yeah, I
Johnson go
mean,
ahead.
here we're seeing Harvey go 1-9 when he fell to like 2-3 in that 10 team
Mm,
in that 10 team draft. So that's a change of what, 1, 2, 3, like 4 spots.
yeah.
So that's kind of wild.
Loveland at 111. Very surprising, to be honest. I just
Yeah.
just don't think he should be. I just don't think he should be there. Gary, I didn't think I was going to get my guy at 112, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he fell that far. I don't think. I mean, honestly, I can see worlds where Harvey and Caleb Johnson go over him. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah, I can too.
and the same with Warren, but not Loveland. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense to me. But
Yeah,
I kind of got sniped back to back here.
it's
Uh,
so sad.
yeah, I mean, these are like the two guys that I really, really, really want at the 2-7 pick, which I'd probably get if we were in a 10 teamer, or maybe get if we were in a 10 teamer, but we're in a 12. So, of course, a little bit different. Um,
While you decide, I'll let the audience know Matthew Golden, Luther Burton, Jackson Dart, Scatabo, Higgins, Harris all go before Gary, and Gary obviously looking for Higgins or Trey Harris, but can't.
You know what? Let's pull the trigger. Why not?
No, you didn't.
I think he was
No,
going to make it to you.
you didn't. Oh my goodness. No, you
Sorry, man.
didn't. This
I
is
did.
unacceptable. Kyle Williams going 2-7 is just, he's jumping boards. Over Jack Beck is crazy. I think I have Kyle Williams in my tier 3, I believe, around the similar value of these players. So not bad. Jalen Milrow, though, after that, Mason Taylor, Tutton. I mean, I got no players that I really want here.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
You don't want Shedder?
I might have to, honestly. I don't want Jaden Blue. This is your pick, Gary. It's Jaden Blue, Shador Sanders. They're all here. I'm gonna say that my team is a team that I can wait on because I just won the championship. I got pick 12, so I'm gonna take Shador because he's not gonna start right away.
There you go.
Tyler Shuck, Ferguson, Blue, Arroyo, Fannin, and Sampson go.
Ooh,
Gary, you're at
back-to-back rounds. I
37.
love it. Ugh.
That's brutal.
Yeah, this
That's
is such
brutal.
a brutal spot.
Isn't this crazy though? How much two extra teams change?
I mean, you got to think about it, right? Like from the difference now. I mean, your first rounder doesn't change unless you're the 1-1 or 1-2. Or no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Your first round doesn't change at all. Your second round obviously changes by 2 picks, and then again, consecutive after that. So by the time you're in the 4th round, it's a difference of 6 picks. So I mean, it is a big difference here. Believe it or not. I mean, I'm gonna take Devin Neal here, but that's a guy that I was getting in the middle of the 4th round with 10 teams. Now it's going a whole round early. So
Keno in the chat took RJ over Caleb a lot. That Broncos offense is on the rise, and Steelers just made it, and I completely agree with you. And Big Rice Ball, loving Kyle Williams. I'm all in on Kyle Williams.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to cut you off, Freddie.
No, go for it.
It's a guy that we've talked about a lot, obviously because he's a Patriot, but I truly do think that he can just become that wide receiver 2 immediately in New England. And I mean, obviously, I don't think we talked about the stuff with Stephon Diggs. I don't think it's going to be, a big situation to really break apart. But if it happens to be something miraculous, then Kyle Williams would be the first guy to step up, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I agree. Noel Royals and Iamanor go after you, Gary, as well as Ollie Gordon. I'm going to take the best player available in Pat Bryant. I think he's been very underrated, but I think he's behind Cortland Sutton. That's really it. I mean, is there any other receivers there besides Evan Ingram as well in the tight end? Not really.
Marvin Mims 1K.
That's true. Marvin Mims 1K. I can't forget about that. For any of you who saw my stats last year, or didn't see the stats last year, I statted Marvin Mims to hit 1,000 receiving yards, which he might this year with Bo Nix, but who knows?
Right.
I have potential with Marvin Mims. There's potential, but I think Pat
Okay.
Bryant could. We're going to see in the offseason. If Pat Bryant beats it, then hey, Marvin Mims is just not that guy. But anyways, Gadsden, Howard, Helm, Gabriel, Ewers, and Evans go before you, Gary, in the 4th round. Are you typing to do some research here on these players? Because we're going
Yeah,
deep into these.
honestly, a little bit. Kind of looking at the Panthers running back situation.
You got 5
But I'm not
seconds.
entirely sure I like it. I'll just take the best player available in DJ Giddens.
I like DJ Giddens.
I mean, I don't really have a grade on him at all, but just kind of running out of time. So I probably would have taken. In all honesty, I mean, whoever the next best quarterback or tight end was, but I wasn't even paying attention to that. So
Riley Leonard. This is the first time we're seeing him in Matavo.
yeah,
I mean, Kyle
I have
McCord.
no idea who that is.
I've never heard of. I've heard of Matavo, but I've never seen him be drafted at all. I'm honestly surprised because I got the last pick, and I think I can pause this draft. I'm going to pause this draft just so we can talk about remaining players available. I'm surprised Trevor Etienne, Jordan James, Isaac Tisla, Torrey Horton, and Xavier Restrepo, and Taj Brooks a little bit. They're all still on the board. I thought that we'd see most of them go off the board here, but we see a lot of quarterbacks going in that 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is the AI round where they just take all the running backs the cornerbacks and tight ends. But those are guys that you'd probably see go off the board. And a guy that, honestly, looking back on it, I probably should have taken was Jordan James, just due to the fact that if CMC gets hurt, Isaac Warrendo is the next guy. And although he showed, some flashes here and there last year, I think after CMC, that position can be up for grabs.
Yeah. So I'm on the clock here, and I will say I'm debating between Trevor Etienne and Jordan James. For the running backs. For the wide receiver, it's only Isaac Tisla. And the reason why I'm debating about Tisla is because of how high the Lions drafted him.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that too. Yep.
There's got to be some potential there, right?
Yeah, there has to be.
Do I need 3 receivers being drafted? No. So I will go with Gary's pick on Jordan James.
Yes.
To end the draft. But I think overall, this very, very, very different.
Totally. I mean, we haven't drafted in 4 days and 3 days. Sorry. And
Yeah.
I mean, Cam Ward drops 2 spots. Then you have Harvey jumping 3 to 4 spots. You have Ibuka falling, 3 spots. You got Scatabo shooting up the boards.
He is.
He's a guy that was going like late 2nd rounder. Now he's going in the beginning of the 2nd round, kind of. Honestly, a guy that I probably would not take over Higgins and Harris, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not a big Scatabo fan. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take him over Kyle Williams either.
Or Jalen Milroe, or Mason Taylor.
Scatabo fan when it comes to his play translating to the NFL.
Yeah.
He's a great player at Arizona State, but I don't know if he's going to be able to fill a role there with the Giants. So I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that he's that high.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And that's because of the fact that I think Scatabo is the last remaining running back that has potential here.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the reason why he's going so high. I think because we know that Harvey and Caleb Johnson are clear-cut late 1st round, very early 2nd. After that, if you are in desperate need of a running back, you're going to reach for Scatabo.
Yeah, probably.
For wide receivers, they can fall as much as they want because there's so much wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, you see, obviously, like Jalen Noel and Jalen Royals fall to the late 3rd round, and those are guys that, I mean, could make a day 1 impact of the team, honestly. Same with Iron
Bryant.
Yeah, Bryant too.
So, Gary, how do you feel? You went full running backs. Your team must have needed running backs, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just the skill positions. My quarterbacks and tight ends are good. I need to get more youthful with the running backs and wide receivers. So I'm kind of locked into Judkins at 1.7. Of course, if he's there, I mean, if Cam Ward continues to fall, I might honestly get a little worried, and I might have to start thinking about having to jump a couple spots if anybody's down to do that in my league. But I drafted Kyle Williams again. I think he can become an immediate wide receiver too in that offense. Of course, a little worried with just the fact that the Patriots have not been able to draft a good wide receiver in a while. But to be honest, he looks like maybe one of the best that they've drafted recently. So I'm going to give him a shot, especially considering the fact that a lot of things are
we say that
changing with the Patriots. Yeah, right. Exactly. A lot of things are changing with the Patriots, though. They got Vrabel now. Drake May is entering year 2. He looked great last year and is trying to just obviously improve. So maybe they can be the young duo that plays great together.
Keno saying I'm buying high on the Broncos rookies. Sean Payton schemes always benefit PPR leagues. I'm all in on that. I've been a Cortland Sutton believer since he came into the NFL, and he has worked very well to be fantasy relevant. And then Marvin Mims, I still have some hope. Pat Bryant, again, he's a rookie, so he could also have some sensation. Evan Ingram coming in. I mean, if you need a quarterback, Bo Nix is a great guy to go get. But I did get offered Bo Nix in one of my leagues, and it's a Superflex league, and they asked for 2 first-round picks, and I told them that they were crazy, and I was walking away from that deal. I'm not paying you 2 first-round picks for Bo Nix. I'll pay you a first, but first maybe a player, but nothing more than that. 2 first rounds, it's just a little too much. But I will say we do there is I do have a league open right now for all you viewers watching. There is 2 spots remaining before we can actually draft the rookie draft. It is an orphan team, but it is a free dynasty league. So if you want to get into a free dynasty league, we're on our 6th season, I think. Just send me a DM on whatever social media platform or email me saying you're interested. I can send you the link. You can join one of the teams and we can get crack-a-lackin'. Gary's not in it, but Gary will be in the redraft leagues. Gary will be in the redraft league, our listener league. So again, if you want to join our listener league, that'll be later on in the summer. We will be putting it out on social media and all on YouTube. Again, the winner of that league will win a trophy from TrophySmack.com, which again, if you haven't done so, go to TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ and you can get yourself a trophy ring or a belt. Again, we can start giving away 50% off rings, but we need you to order stuff using that link. But Gary, what's your thoughts on this overall thing? Great show, right?
No, I loved it, of course. I mean, it's always fun when we do this, and we've done 5 of them, and they've honestly looked relatively the same. So I wasn't expecting a switch up, to be honest, but we got it. Kudos to you for adding those 2 teams. I wasn't even thinking of doing that. But yeah, that mixed with the fact that OTAs are starting and we're getting closer to the season, a lot of stuff switched up. So
we're officially under 100 days away from kickoff.
Yeah, like I said on Sunday, man, we are probably halfway into the off season or nearing it at least. So just keep that head up. We're gonna keep trucking on.
We're trucking on. Again, June is going to be a great month for us. We're going to have a lot of guest stars coming on the show. We already have what seems to be Andy McNamara coming on the show again at some point. Maybe next show, trying to get him on. Former co-host Dave Heelman will be on. If you haven't seen him, he's Dynasty Dorks. Used to be Dynasty Dorks anyways. NFL analyst Mauricio Gutierrez, he'll be coming on the show at some point. Jeremy, a guy that we had during the live draft, will be coming on, and many more guest stars. So again, we're going to have that all posted all on our social medias as well on all the guest stars. And again, if you want to join one of our Dynasty leagues, we're looking for 2 orphan team people that want to join those 2 orphan teams. It's a free Dynasty league. So again, can't go wrong with it. But again, TrophySmack.com/SportsTimeHQ. And if you haven't done so already, use that code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy. They're going to match your first deposit up to $1,000. Yeah, you heard it. Keno, solid dogs hanging out and talking ball. You know, gotta love it. Don't like the word dogs because it reminds me of the Cleveland Browns. But, you know, dog pound, right, Gary? Again, SportsTimeHQ. Go follow and go use that code Underdog Fantasy. But again, we're here every single week on Wednesdays and Sundays. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, next show, it's going to be a great one. It's always better the next show, of course. But again, I was joined by my great co-host, Gary. Go follow him also all over social media at GD Picks. I'm your host, Fernando, and we will see you all on Sunday.